This is the lesson 8.3 DL strategy. So here we're working on solving equations. I'm going to always put some railroad tracks in. And the first thing I want to do is on one side of the equals, if I can do any work, I need to. But I can't combine these. There's nothing to do over here. That's when I'm ready to add the railroad tracks and start moving things. And remember, we undo in the reverse order. So in order of operations, I would multiply first, and then I would add. So I'm going to do the opposite in reverse order. So I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides of my equation. So the 2/5 W comes down, equals comes down the middle, and 16 minus 6 is 10. Now I'm trying to always isolate, so I'm getting rid of anything that's on the same side of the equals as my letter. So I need to get rid of this. So the way I make that 1W is if I multiply by 5/2, what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So this all simplifies. And I get 1W, and I can simplify over here. 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 10 5 times. 5 times 5 is 25, over 1 is 25. Now I can always verify by plugging back in, so I'm going to check my answers. 2/5 times 25 over 1 plus 6 hopefully is going to equal 16. Order of operations over here, multiply or add. I need to multiply, so I can simplify these fractions. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 6, is that 16? Yes, it is. So I know I'm correct. Okay, number 2 is more complicated because I can't do anything on this side of the equals. I can't combine x's with numbers. Can't do anything here, but I have x's on each side. So what I always want to do is move my x's together first. I prefer to work with positive numbers, so what I'm going to do to both sides is subtract 7 x's from both sides. So 9 minus 7 gives me 2x. The plus 4 comes down. Equals comes down the middle. This would make 0, so I just have 48 over here. Now all my x's are just on the left side of the equals. So I need to get rid of these two numbers to isolate my variable. I get rid of the one that's not attached to the variable first. How do I undo add 4? I'm going to subtract 4. So I get 2x equals 44. How do I undo multiplication? Divide by 2. Divide by 2. I get x equals 22. I want to check this. So I'm going back. 9 times 22 plus 4 is hopefully equal to 7 times 22 plus 48. 9 times 22 is 198, plus 4 is hopefully equal to 7 times 22 is 154, plus 48. This gives me 202. This gives me 202. They are equal, so I know I'm correct. So you can always check your work to find out if you have the right solution. Okay, so now we have to remember back to chapter 6 when we had the distributive property. So remember what I said with both of these. If there's work to be done on one side of the equals, I need to do that. So over on this side of the equals, I can distribute. 3 times 3, I get 9y. 3 times positive 4 is positive 12. And the 15y comes down. Now there's nothing more I can do on either side. Now I'm going to put the railroad tracks in. I want to move my y's to the same side of the equals, and I like positives, so I'm going to subtract 9y from both sides. So I have 12 over here. 15y minus 9y is 6y. Now I need to isolate for y, so I need to undo multiplication, divide by 6. I get 2 equals y. Now let's check it. So I'm rewriting this. 3 parentheses, 3 times y is 2, plus 4, close the parentheses. Hopefully that's equal to 15 times 2. Order of operations. Do parentheses first. Inside parentheses, I have to first multiply. Okay, now I can finish the parentheses. 3 times 10, and I can multiply over here. I get 30. And 10 times 3, 30 does equal 30. So I'm for sure right. Okay, number 3 is almost about as big of a problem as I can give you right now. On the left side of the equals, I can distribute 30x, 5 times negative 4, negative 20. On the right side of the equals, I have to distribute 2x plus 8. Can't do anything on either side of the equals, so now I see I have x's on both sides. Now I need to start moving things together, so I'm going to add the railroad tracks. I like positive values, so I'm subtracting 2x from both sides. 30x minus 2x is 28x. Minus 20 comes down, the 8 comes down. Now I need to isolate for x, so I need to get rid of the 28 and the 20. I get rid of the one that's not stuck to the x first, so I'm going to be adding 20 to both sides. So I get 28x equals 28. Now I divide both sides by 28, and I get x equals 1. Let's verify this. 5 parentheses 6 times 1 minus 4 equals 2 parentheses 1 plus 4. Order of operations. Multiply in here first. I'd get 6 minus 4. Over here, I can finish those parentheses. This side, I can finish my parentheses. And all of these, I'm hoping this is going to come out. 5 times 2 is 10. 2 times 5 is 10. It worked. So we are correct.